Hot hike!
Whose beat is that, first of all?
Oh, it's a beat.
Whose beat did you steal?
I found that shit on YouTube. Man.
Oh, I bet.
Welcome to the Sportscasting Couch. My name's Josh. Joined with me as always is Ryan and Paul.
What up?
Yo.
All right, you can reach us by emailing sportscastingcouch@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter @SC_couch, Facebook.com/sportscastingcouch, on Instagram @sportscastingcouch, and we have SoundCloud.com/sportscastingcouch, as well as iTunes where you can listen.
Yeah, so you can catch us on SoundCloud or iTunes. iTunes week 2, I believe we're on now. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. I gotta go.
More cheers, more beers, man. That's it. That's all.
Just got to get that out of the way. I'm a little thirsty here today. Coming up in the show today, maybe within the next half hour, 45 minutes, we have Tom Mazawey from, like I said last week, it's the former Detroit Sports 105.1, and now he is on the Drew and Mike podcast on Tuesdays. So 45 minutes or so, we'll have him coming up.
Nice.
I want to keep the news simple this week. It's not really news, I guess. It's going to be, I'm just going to fire off some questions for you guys. First one being, are the Patriots back to being the best team in the AFC after their rocky start? But look what happened this week with Atlanta. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, it was a big game last week against Atlanta. The game could have been a lot closer. Atlanta had kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple times, but it's been that season where the top teams, sometimes they look like shit, sometimes they look great, and you don't really know what to think about it, except for the Eagles. They've looked great the whole time, but yeah, I don't know. I think the Patriots are the number one in the AFC just up here. Their coach and their quarterback alone. I think Kansas City's a close second right now, though.
Yeah, whenever you have Tom Brady under center and you have Bill Belichick on the sideline, they're going to be a number one team.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3 at least. So easily. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all that Tom Brady's doing what he's doing at the level he's doing it at his age. So
yeah, their offense has not been the problem at all. It's been more the defense being able to stop the run, stop the pass. They just haven't been able to really put it together a complete game yet.
Once they'll get the defense. The defense just needs some snaps. They need some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll start to mesh. They got the two good corners that they can rely on. It's just they need to stop the run, and they'll be fine. So
I was kind of worried there in the beginning of the season, and Josh, you jokingly said, I think it was week 3 or week 4 where you jokingly said they're going to finish 14-2 and nobody's going to see what even happened at the beginning of the season. It's kind of looking like you might be right about that, but they got a good test this week as well. I believe who they got this week. They got the Chargers, which is one of those teams that Ryan is saying.
ooh, you don't want to play the Chargers.
Yeah, exactly.
Every week.
Every week.
That's going to be an interesting game, but we'll see how that works out, because the Chargers are one of those teams you don't want to play, but the Patriots are at home, so we'll see how that pick goes for everybody this week. Next point, which team or teams made the biggest statement about themselves this weekend?
Which team or teams made the biggest statement about themselves?
The biggest spotlight, the one game that was by themselves on Monday night, the Eagles playing against the Redskins.
Here we go.
It's
God.
an easy pick, really. They
No,
came out. They came out on national television, showed what they've been doing pretty much all year. Carson Wentz had an amazing game, and they really put themselves ahead in the NFC. As long as they can keep home field, I'm happy with it. But if they lose home field, then that's where I get a little worried about it.
Yeah, I have to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville and their defense. Their defense, put the league on fucking notice. Right? Like, Indianapolis Colts are the Colts, whatever. They're not one of the top tier teams in the league, but still, they're an NFL team. Whenever you get 10 sacks in one game, and when they're just destroying people in the secondary, it's
the second time this season that they've done that. They did that in week 2 of the NFL season. They had 10 sacks in one game. they had 5 interceptions against Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers a couple weeks ago, and they did 10 sacks again. And I believe I read something where it said that they're making for a run for most sacks on a season, giving I think it was the 72 Dolphins a run for their money at 76 sacks, sacks on the season. So that's a scary looking defense.
Scary looking. They're young too, really, really young.
Yeah.
So they might be dangerous for many seasons to come. So
yeah, and the other one is going back about a week now as well. If you think about it, the Oakland Raiders coming back finally. Amari Cooper actually having a good game.
Yeah.
They looked a lot better in that game, where I thought everybody really thought that they were done for the most part.
Yeah.
Go in and it was at home, but they beat the Chiefs.
What a wild finish to that game too. What happened in the end there? Because again, I was working on Thursday, so
they ran like 8 plays with no time on the clock.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. But that throw, that
all those penalties over and over and over. The one, what was the one on the first one that actually gave them the next chance was, I forget what it was, but I remember thinking that was by far not a penalty in any way at all. But then the Chiefs really just shit the bed at the end. There was penalty after penalty after penalty, which you could call those penalties for the most part at the end.
Yeah, you can call it, but it's just like, at what point do you let them play? And just like, hey, like the defense they're backed up here, man. Like, you gotta let them play football once in a while, but the penalties just getting bailed out. Like, what can you do? Like, what can they do as a defense? Like, you can't stop somebody that many times on the goal line.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. But again, penalty is a penalty, and it's again refs' discretion to throw the flag. So whatever they see, and they throw the flag on any penalties they see. So that. It is what it is.
Speaking of penalties, can I rant for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Yeah. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. It could just be me, my Homer-ism with the Eagles and everything.
I was going to say, is this an Eagles thing?
Yeah, it is. That's why I want to get.
Oh my God.
That's why I want to get your guys' opinion on it. But last week I talked about it. The referee Pete Morelli, his last 4 games that he's reffed against the Eagles, it was 40 penalties for the Eagles for 396 yards. To 8 penalties for 72 in total. So in 4 games total, the Eagles got 40 against them, and the opponent got 8. There was a petition that went out there from the Eagles fans saying they don't want Pete Morelli to ref a game again for them. It's last I checked, it was up to 75,000 signatures on it. They're pretty crazy. So what I'm thinking, then you go Monday night, and the first drive of the game, the Eagles get 3 plays, and there's 4 penalties called against them in the first 3 plays. You know how there's a fraternity with the players and all that kind of stuff. There's also a fraternity with the refs. So I'm thinking, it really got in my head that they're thinking, they see this petition, they see this stuff, and they're like, we're going to prove a point to them that you're not above us, kind of thing, and went ahead and did it right away. There was like 1 or 2 that I was like, okay, that's a penalty, but there was some really questionable calls on a holding on Lane Johnson. He's literally just standing there with them. There was another one I can't remember, but am I just being an Eagles fan?
I think you're being an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
I think unless you bring up some like solid video evidence where it's like, hey, that's not a
you're not
penalty,
going to have
back
any.
and back and back.
My idea of it was just at the beginning. They're like, maybe it's just me being me. I don't know.
When you look at again the Eagles' offensive line when it comes to holding calls, they're big dudes and they're good physical. They're big physical dudes, and they like again to be physical at the line of scrimmage. You're going to get those holding calls, right? When you play like they do, and especially that Eagles defense as well, when they're flying around like they've been flying around, it's high intensity results in penalties. That's what you're going to get, right? So some of the best defenses in the NFL history are some of the most penalized defenses in the NFL history. So it's not. I wouldn't put it on the refs. Refs are doing their jobs.
Do you not agree that 4 games and having 8 penalties called for the other team and then 40 for your own team with 1 ref, it's the same thing every single time? It's 10 for your team each game and 2 for the other team each game. Is that not or one for the other team?
Sounds like your team needs to stop committing fucking penalties.
You lack discipline.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was my rant. I just saw it, and I was like, at the beginning of the game, I was like, are you kidding me? Is this going to happen again? And then it started to sit
Was
in my
is that
head.
who they had? Was last week with Pete Morelli?
Not last week was Ed Hockley, but I thought,
Did he
but
throw
they're in a
flags?
fraternity, right? So at the first drive of the game, Eagles have the ball in their 20. They get like 15 yards, but then it gets called back for a penalty. Then the next play, there's 2 penalties on them. Then the next play after that, there's another penalty. There's 4 in the first 3. So
that sounds like some sort of like Eagles conspiracy theory.
Aliens, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking aliens or some shit that the refs are lizard men out to get the Eagles so
that's
they
what it
never
is.
win a Super Bowl.
It's the hate.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's that deep. I think it was just
Doesn't
if
sound like it's,
if anything, it was just, hey, we'll stick it to them for the first little bit, let them know kind of thing. But you really never know what's going on.
I don't know, man. I think that all the refs there, they take it seriously. They get paid a lot of money to do their job.
There's a lot of refs, well, more in basketball, that have been like caught for
well, that was
shaving
fixing
points,
for
all that stuff.
Yeah, shaving points for betting, right?
I don't think it would ever happen in the NFL. It'd be easily found out. And
Well, you can pretty much call a penalty on every single play for the most part in the NFL.
Is what it
and
is.
the fact that
Right?
so that's what bothered me, is that you can call one every single play for the most part, but yet the Eagles' opponents were only getting 2 a game for the last 4 games when Pete Morelli was. That was my whole issue with it.
Well,
If it could, just maybe he just don't let him ref for the Eagles, and we don't have to worry about it.
I hope that he continues to ref Eagles games.
Especially the Broncos one.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. But
you guys are heading to Philly in 2 weeks, or when it?
2 weeks.
Yeah, next weekend.
eh?
Not
Yeah,
this
sweet.
upcoming weekend, but the weekend
See the
after.
Broncos at the Eagles.
Cool.
Go Broncos.
I want to. Well, it's not an Eagles podcast or
That's not
anything. No,
What the fuck am I here
No,
for?
wait, what? It's not an Eagles podcast.
but I want to bring up that
It's a
Josh,
Lions podcast.
obviously your team's 6-1 now. Are they really a team? Like, I never look at Philly. They haven't won a Super Bowl ever, right? So I never look at them as a team to really fear in the NFL. But this is one.
Well, they haven't been a team to fear since basically 2004 with T.O.
Yeah. So
they've been
T.O.,
they've had
Donovan McNabb. He doesn't bring it.
Donovan has a bum. They've had a couple decent teams, but I think the look of the Eagles this year, they might not be some insanely stacked team, but compared to the rest of the league, they're above and beyond what they're giving out right now. I still don't know what to think with it. It's still a lot. Everybody's now saying they're the Super Bowl favorite, all that kind of stuff. I'm just happy seeing Carson Wentz on his second year playing it as amazing as he has been in a second year quarterback.
I was looking at
good.
something and it was saying Carson Wentz is the most blitz quarterback in the league.
And he has like the best rating against it.
Yeah, so maybe they're just teams are just like, oh, this guy's still young. They want to get after him. Maybe that's their Achilles heel right there, and they're getting a little.
He's
digging
most
too
blitz,
deep in the honey
it's not like
pot
they
right
blitz
there,
every
right?
single. They're not blitzing every single play.
Well, they're trying to
constantly
blitz
kind
him,
of
right? So maybe you should stop. Maybe sit back and cover, and make him like try and make reads instead of those easy ones. Because a lot of times you're looking at Carson Wentz is making that 1-2 read, and there's a guy wide open downfield. He's making the throws. Right, he's doing his job. Right, so you got to give him a little bit something more to look at. Mix up your coverages. Like that's where I think he's going to struggle in the playoffs. Right, is you're going to get those top flight teams.
Well, that's what we're going to see. We have the Broncos coming up 2 weeks. Then there's the Eagles go to Seattle, play in Seattle. That'll be a big test, especially in Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle's going to be a good test. I don't think if the Broncos offense keeps playing like the Broncos offense has been playing, the Eagles are going to have no problem beating the Broncos easily, right? Because again, it doesn't matter how good your defense is, right? But if you can't get off the fucking field, you're not going to win that game, right? So,
but it's really it's. You see when you see Cart, like I've watched every game, obviously, and multiple times every single game. You see him every single play. He goes to the line. He scans the defense. He makes changes every single time. He's killing plays. He's changing them. He's going through more reads than just 1 or 2 and getting them open for the most part. There's some plays he's getting blasted and smashed, and he's on the ground. Then the next play he gets up and he throws a touchdown. Next play he gets a big play. It's like the pressure in his face doesn't make him fold and fall like the Mannings and like some other quarterbacks where they're so afraid of being hit, they're just going to get out of it, kind of thing. He stands right in the pocket, and that kind of scares me a little bit.
Did you guys see that video I sent in our chat we have? I sent a
Which
YouTube
one?
link.
you did?
No, it was that. Remember that Nick Folk commentator I sent? The guy commentated Nick Folk's like 3 missed field goals.
No.
I
It's
didn't
really
see it,
funny.
no.
Okay, pull it up.
I'll find it.
Pull
but
it
you
up
can
really,
explain
really
it.
quick. But it's that play where Carson Wentz is practically sacked. He's in a ball of humanity,
Oh, I did
and he
see
just
Somehow
squirts out
squirts
and
out of
then
it,
runs
gets
for like
17-yard
23
run, yeah.
yards or whatever. But the guy that commentated it is really fucking funny. He was the same guy. I don't know if we played it on the podcast or not last time, but
I don't think we
I
did.
think I
don't
sent
remember
it to you
anything.
guys.
Especially with Nick Folk, I don't remember anything.
You sent a YouTube
Yeah,
link, you
just
said?
scroll up. I don't going through this chat. Oh my god.
How long ago was it?
It was today. It had to have been today.
I don't remember you sent a link today at all.
Well, this is why I tell you guys to stop fucking talking in the chat. I tell you to shut the fuck up all the time.
I tell
Look at
you-
all this dumb shit you guys talk about.
Yeah, okay.
Here it comes
Oh,
up
here it is.
There it is.
I didn't
right
click
there.
this
Oh,
shit.
I'm not clicking
Why
a link.
not?
Post a
Well,
video.
the famous words of the Asian man in The Hangover. Wentz says it here. So long, gay boys. To the 30, the 35, 40, and slides down to the 45, and then he says, fuck you! Look at this replay right here. Unbelievable. About to be sacked, but he says, fuck it, I am a superhero. And then he goes all the way to the 45-yard line. The city of Philadelphia has to be very excited about this fucker.
It's pretty good, man.
That's great.
Oh man, that guy. I first saw that guy when that Nick Folk missed those 3 field goals for Tampa Bay earlier in the season, and his commentary on that shit was hilarious. All right, and then ever since then I've been following him on YouTube, and I saw that today, and I was like, oh, this is fucking dying. And I sent it to you, and I was like, Josh would like this, but you guys never say anything because you don't click my links.
I thought Josh would. I send screenshots all the time in the group chat, and I thought Josh would like this one with the NFL Network Week 8 power rankings, where the Eagles are number 1. However,
It's Elliot Harrison's idiot ass. Like well, I guess the Rams. This is we're gonna get
Rams
to
haven't
my
played any
picks.
good damn teams.
My top 32. I have the rest of it. We can get to it later or whatever. But it's actually surprised me. The Rams. I looked through the remaining schedule, and they have a lot more wins coming up than I figured they would at this point. Well,
They haven't
not
played
even
any good teams, but they do have like the most like high flying offense, like the most yards in the league on offense, right? Like that's the best
Oh yeah,
offense in
it's
the
like
league.
200 and something. The next
Something
closest is like
retarded.
190 something.
Something retarded, and they're really good, but they're not playing like the greatest teams, but they got that defense they rely on too, so you never know.
Yeah.
And Goff keeps keeping the ball safe like he has been. He's been, scoring, and they got those weapons on offense, and
so
a lot of Gurley.
a lot of Gurley. They were saying like, oh, don't be surprised about a Jacksonville Jaguars Super Bowl with the Rams, or Rams-Jags Super Bowl. Don't be surprised if you see that shit. I wouldn't watch it.
yeah, you would.
I would, but I wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
What am I watching here? Thursday Night Football?
Who said that?
This was on.
I'll bet that person $200 that
No, it was just an
both
article.
teams don't even make the
It was some
playoffs.
dumb article I saw on NFL.com or the Score or some shit.
So I follow this. Well, we follow this Broncos Everything page on Instagram, and they posted this make a trade with any team. So you got the Broncos receive what, and any other team receives what.
So if you can make a trade as the Broncos, who you trying to
Exactly.
get? Who you giving
An
away?
offensive line.
You're just gonna trade an
An
That's
entire
right.
offensive line would be great.
Just give me all 5 of them.
Give me an offensive
and a
line.
quarterback.
That's what we need. Need an offensive line. The quarterback's not the problem. Simeon doesn't have any time to throw. He has no time to throw, and they can't run the football. Right? And they're getting destroyed at the line of scrimmage. Right? They can't run the football, and they don't have any pass protection. They try to run on first down. They get 1 or 2 yards. Right? And then they try and play action. Right? And the other teams know, like, oh, these guys are going to try and throw it on 2nd and long. Right? And then he gets sacked or he gets incomplete. Now they're in 3rd down situations, 3rd and long situations. They don't have time for him to set up and throw downfield past 10 yards. It doesn't happen. Right? And they pin their ears back and they just go and get him. And it's been terrible.
So there was 3 teams blanked, or was it? No, hold on. 2 or 3 teams blanked this weekend. You had the
3?
Cardinals, the Colts,
And the
and Denver.
Broncos.
And I think during the game, the Broncos game, there was a fan recorded yelling this, and kind of rude.
I recommend you try another sport, like knitting.
Yeah. They might be bad at that too, though.
What's that from?
Fubar. Right at the start.
Yeah.
But how do you get blanked by the Chargers? It's incredible. Even Arizona getting blanked by the Rams.
It
And
was that home field advantage they had. The crowd was going wild.
I guess so.
No.
The Cardinals make sense because Palmer goes out. I don't remember what quarter it was, but
yeah, that
makes a little more
unfortunate.
sense.
Let me tell you this. I'm sorry. Going back to the Broncos' offensive line was it Alan Barbary? He used to play for the Eagles, right?
Mhm.
Is it first name?
he's
Alan?
he's pretty much only good at pass blocking for the most part.
He's right tackle.
Right tackle. Oh,
Yeah.
he was left guard for us.
Yeah, he's a guard. He's playing right tackle for us. He had to go up against whatever. Shut the fuck up. He had to go up against Joey Bosa on that.
He's your starting right tackle.
As of right now, yes. Because our right tackle, I think Menelik Watson got hurt, or he just sucks real hard, so they benched him. And then I think we still got Donald Stevenson, but he's useless. So, yeah. So he'd be like, oh, we'll put Barbary out there because we got Leary in the other guard spot when we're fine, and then we could put someone else in the other guard spot. He just got his ass beat.
Yeah.
Right? He was dropping out. He's not built, though. He was making his quick pass pro step, right? And then did you see Joey Bosa, or was it Ingram? I forget his first name.
Melvin.
It's not Melvin Ingram. Is it Melvin Ingram?
Yeah. Defensive end, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, it is Melvin Ingram. They would just make one step outside as a speed rush, and cut inside, and the Barber would like fucking fold. And
he just couldn't handle it.
Couldn't handle it because he's not used to. He's used to having outside help, right? So he'd compensate trying to step outside, stop that speed rush, right, and then just get beat inside every time, and then Simeon would get forced to the pocket, sacked. They're absolutely destroyed. I don't know if you saw that hit by Ingram, where he just came absolutely clean and just literally punched him in the mouth.
Really? No, I didn't see.
They didn't punch him in the mouth, but he just fucking came. They threw a flag on it. It was vicious. I thought it was clean. I didn't think they should have thrown a flag on it, but he just got fucking annihilated. Yeah. He was just standing clean in the pocket, not moving, and you just imagine a full-sized NFL defensive end running full tilt, untouched, hitting you right in the damn chest.
Yeah, not having an offensive line is the number one killer, pretty much. You see the Giants, they were a playoff favorite for pretty much in the NFC. Going in, everybody had them as one of their top teams in the NFC, and they don't have an offensive line. They suck. That's the one thing that's scaring me now for the future for the Eagles. Jason Peters went out last week, torn MCL and ACL. He's out for the season. It could be career. I don't know if he was talking about retiring a couple years ago.
I don't think you come back from that at that age. So yeah, that might be the last time you see Jason Peters. Right. He's been struggling with injuries the past couple seasons, anyways. Too.
Somewhat. Yeah, he's been he's getting older. Right? So he's getting nagging injuries.
I think that's the last time you can see Jason Peters. Right?
Which is sad.
That's pretty sad. It sucks to see. He's Hall of Fame tackle.
Yeah, the crowd gave him a great send off, and what was crazy is the crowd was chanting his name the whole time as loud as possible, and he didn't even care about anybody around him, the coaches, nothing. He was trying to get the coaches to call over his backup, Halapuli Vaitai, so he could talk to him and tell him some pointers on what he was seeing happening, so he could help him out.
Really?
Tears both of the freaking ACL and MCL, and all he cares is get this guy out. He's a beast.
Yeah.
So I think we're on day 35 of Johnny Manziel watch.
Oh, we're going back to this. We're still doing Johnny Manziel. Like, give it up, man.
At this point, yeah, this is gonna be the last day.
He obviously doesn't check whatever the fuck you're messaging him. He doesn't
check it. Now all I've been sending him is emojis here, and yeah, no, he doesn't check it. But he did update his Instagram, telling everybody that he has a Snapchat. So I'm a little upset that he hasn't checked his messages because we could represent him well, but
we'll try and add him on Snapchat.
So
start snapping him stuff.
I don't have Snapchat. You guys got Snapchat? Chat Snap?
Josh has Snapchat.
So with us ending Johnny Manziel watch, is there any other avenue we want to pursue? You guys want to try to become the offensive coordinators for the Cleveland Browns?
Oh, fuck.
Head coach. He's going to be gone soon. 1 in 21 as a head coach.
I could start sending him some fan mail or... representation.
I'm down.
Yeah. I'll tell them to send.
I'll coach their plays. I'll call them.
That's fine.
One of my buddies knows the owner. Well, Family Connection knows the owner.
Oh,
there we go. We're getting in.
We got in for sure.
Yeah. See, Sportscasting coaching a game.
No, listen, be good. That's my tip to the team.
Good coach, man. So in light of our interview that we're still obviously waiting for Tom Mazawey, let's quickly maybe talk about what we'll be talking about with him. We kind of touched on it last week. I totally forgot that the Lions had a bye week, and you were saying that they had about 12 players injured or going on to the injury list, but they were going into a bye week. So I'm assuming a lot of those players are going to be coming off healthy. So a look ahead for the Lions this week, do they have a chance of winning this division? Because as you saw, Minnesota won. Green Bay lost, so we knew they're kind of going to start sliding. But then you had Chicago Bears.
They're out. It doesn't even matter. They're done.
Chicago? Are you kidding
Chicago's
me?
Bears,
Yeah,
their
Chicago's-
defense.
their
is very
Ryan
They
good.
had
Ryan said
7
last
completions.
week. Yeah,
I
no.
seven
think
attempts,
I think some things are coming together for the Bears.
It was
No,
Cam
they're not.
Newton being completely rattled from the Eagles game. Still couldn't handle pressure. He threw so many bad passes. I think he's hurt.
That defense is really good. Okay, it's playing
Did
really.
you
really,
see the 2 touchdowns
really
they
well.
got? It was a 75-yard interception return
Yeah,
and a
but the same
75
dude,
fumble return. Same
Eddie
guy,
Jackson.
Yeah.
Same dude. But that
But
defense.
besides that, they did nothing,
They've been
right?
doing it all year though.
Ryan's
They've
best.
been doing it all year. But the thing is, things are coming together when it comes to like you look at the situation in Pittsburgh with Martavis Bryant. He wants out. Where do you think he's gonna go?
Right now, he's on the practice squad.
I understand that. You should put him
Scout team or whatever
Put
it
that
is.
guy in the Bears. See what happens. Give
You want to make a bet right now
Mitch
that they don't
Trubisky?
finish above 8-8?
Don't fuck around with this shit. Above
Chicago?
8-8.
No, they definitely won't.
I'm putting.
Then,
no money on
why are
them
we talking
damn
about them
Bears.
winning the division? That's what I said. They're done.
I'm
They're
just
not
I
saying.
didn't
gonna
say
I'm
that.
just saying things are coming together. You might see some moves before the trade deadline here for the Bears, where they can get some weapons and actually get like something rolling on offense. They got like the ultimate Swiss Army knife in Tariq Cohen, right? And they just need a big receiving threat. And if they get Martavis Bryant, that offensive line's already good, right? So like Howard's running all over the place. Trubisky has time. They're getting him out of the pocket. They got the right system, so he can make every throw on the field. He needs a target to get open. And if you give Martavis Bryant, like the guy's hungry, he wants the ball in his hands. So I'm not gonna say they're gonna do anything. Like I don't know if they're gonna go above 8-8, but watch out. The Bears might be good soon.
I want to quote you from last week saying that Chicago won't beat Carolina if they can't throw over 70 yards because the week prior to
that doesn't fucking count. So, look what happened. Just watch the.
they
fucking
had
game.
85 pass yards. So yeah, they didn't beat them.
It
I like
doesn't
that you
matter.
pay attention, Paul.
Huh?
It doesn't
I like
fucking
you pay
matter.
attention. You can bring this shit up all the time.
I had to.
The guy listened to the podcast 12 times already.
Yeah, maybe. Something like that.
But yeah, I see. Back to the question. I see the Packers. They're gonna improve a little bit than from what you saw last night. They're still getting used to Hundley and what works for him, what his favorite plays are, and all that. But I see it coming down to the Vikings and the Lions, and I think the Vikings are better than the Lions right now. And then they're still getting either Bradford or Bridgewater back. So.
Yeah, I think the Vikings. This is their division to lose, easily, right? So they got that defense. They've been very good with their quarterback situation. Like I said last week, I don't think Teddy Bridgewater should come back this season. I don't think it's worth it.
Seeming like you will though. From what I've been
They were
reading
saying,
about.
I was reading some shit where he was like, yeah, I can't come back this season.
They're not going to rush him back. I think it's going to be
I
down to
wouldn't.
how Bradford looks if he comes back, if he's able to come back, and how their playoff hopes look.
If Case Keenum keeps winning football games, why would you change?
They're not. Who are they beating?
Doesn't matter.
That's going to
Any
matter.
given Sunday.
If you want
man,
to,
you're
win
playing-
in the playoffs,
you're playing
it's
NFL
not.
teams out here.
If you want
right?
to, but if you want to win in the playoffs, it matters.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but
But you also don't want to risk someone's injuries.
you
someone's
you
health.
don't want to have Teddy Bridgewater go down again, and then he's done for all next season and possibly his career, right? So,
Ryan, one thing I saw earlier on this, because trade deadline's coming up, Ebron to the Broncos?
oh man, fuck with that. No, you don't need
He can't
Ebron.
catch.
The guy-
He can't catch, I know.
We need
it's
a passing threat tight end, and he's not a passing threat tight end. He's useless. He's a big wide receiver that can't catch.
Yeah,
That's all he is.
he just fixed his hands somehow. I don't. He needs to go to the Nelson Aguilar school. He figured it out.
No, I think he's scared.
Well, he had it in
he's an
college as
undersized-
well.
He's an undersized tight end.
That was the
right?
knock in college.
He's
as
an
well, that he
undersized
couldn't
tight end who's a vertical threat. He's supposed to get open downfield with his speed, but you're in the league now, right? And there's big motherfuckers over the middle of the field. Like, you got to learn to take a hit. I don't know if he's got alligator arms or something, but something wrong with that boy. I don't want him on my team.
So it looks like our interview is pretty much ready to go here. I was going to bring up something before. Oh, yeah. So what we're doing is, in light of the first interview on our show, and that we have over 100 Facebook followers now. Woohoo. Oh, I forgot to sound clip like a streamer or something. But
We got over 100 followers.
Yeah, we're at
Nice.
103 or 4. But so what we're doing is we're actually running a contest on our Facebook page, on Sportscasting Coach page. So what you want to do is head on over to Sportscasting Coach on Facebook, and you want to like the page. You want to share the post that has the enter to win your favorite NFL team's T-shirt. You'll see the big post there. It's probably going to be about 4 or 5 posts down after this show. And then just comment your favorite team, and then you're entered to win a T-shirt. Nothing other than that. That's it.
You can also do it on Twitter.
Yeah, just make sure you follow those 3 steps, because some people are doing 2 of them, and then they're not doing the third one.
Yeah,
they're not commenting the team. They're sharing it, but they're not commenting the team. And then
That's just free publicity, man. I'll take it. Don't comment your team. We're not going to send you a shirt.
no.
Let's try it again.
Round 2 on the Tom Mazawey interview here.
Call him Tom Man. What did you say it was?
Tom Mazawey.
Bat Tom.
Batmaz.
Batmaz. He's not going to answer.
There we go.
Is it a voicemail?
Yeah. Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
what's happening?
You hear us?
I'm here, guys. I can hear you.
Perfect.
Oh,
All right, perfect.
We had technical difficulties on that first try there, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. So we got
No sweat.
Tom Mazawey here from the Drew and Mike podcast. You can catch him on Tuesdays. I think you're still on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, we tape on Tuesday, but we put the podcast out. It's it's the Wednesday podcast, but we tape it on a Tuesday night.
I've already talked to you about. I'm a big fan of the show there, and
Thank you.
I love when you're on. Are you still doing? I'm still catching up. I'm still in May, so
plenty of non sequiturs coming up for you guys.
Yeah,
so
I can't
no
wait.
problem. You'll catch up.
But
Thanks, Paul.
I thought
Thanks,
I'd give you.
fellas.
I thought I'd give you a chance to talk some sports on this show. I know they're
Sure.
telling you to start your own podcast, but I don't
Yeah.
know what's
I
going
don't
on
have
with
enough
that.
time. I don't have enough time between selling cars, taking care of my kids, and working with Drew and the gang there. There's hardly any other time remaining.
Yeah, are you at Zott Ford there?
I am out in Holly. Come on out and see me. Anyone needs a Ford, I'll even deliver it to your neighborhood. How's that?
Oh,
You know,
boom, there you go. Free
Everyone always tells
publicity.
me I'm so far away. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, free plug for Zott Ford there.
Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
love it.
So we were kind of discussing this right before we called you. Well, the second time. The Lions are coming off a bye week, and do you feel they actually have a chance at winning this division?
Well, I think they have a chance because the division is pretty much in shambles right now with Aaron Rodgers out. I don't think the Packers, obviously, any idiot knows that they're not going to be as good without him. The Vikings, they don't have a quarterback either. I don't think Sam Bradford is going to be coming back anytime soon. Case Keenum, he's Case Keenum. And then the Bears, they got a young guy, Mitch Trubisky. They're playing great right now. But I don't think that's going to last either. So who knows what's going to happen? I think the Lions have just as good a chance as anybody. They lost a couple of tough games. They gave Carolina that big lead, which was terrible, and they came back in it, but it was way too little, too late. And, of course, the Falcons game, they had that game. And what a disaster. I mean, they win that game. I think they beat Carolina, to tell you the truth, and they're right in the thick of this. Yeah, they didn't play great the last time out, but I think they'll be all right on the bye. Off the bye. The Steelers are going to be tough. Ford Field will be packed with Steeler fans, obviously. Mm-hmm. But Detroit fans will be there, and I think the Lions have just as good a chance as anyone. I don't mean to cop out or nothing, but I really believe that 9 wins will win that division.
Yeah, that's a good
prediction. Absolutely.
Yeah. It just seems like it's the same old Lions every season. Like, we're not Lions fans. I'm a Cardinals fan. Ryan here is a Denver Broncos fan, and then Josh is a Eagles fan. But we have a lot of friends that are Detroit Lions fans, and we're just intrigued by this team every single year, that they have this amazing roster, but they just don't seem to put it together. Like, I brought up a point week 2, I believe it was, that Matt Stafford is 5-46 against teams that are above 500. That's a fascinating stat to me.
That is something. But again, those were some bad teams when he first started. Don't forget, it was a winless team when he got here. So I mean, the Matt Millen era is over. I don't think there's anyone left from there, obviously, and the Bob Quinn era is now here. And I think the way the team's going to be run for the future is going to be a bright future for them. I really believe that. And I believe they could win that division with 9 wins, and who knows, maybe even get a 10th win in there.
In the Lions' defense there, too, I just want to make a point here. It's not really fair to put a team record on one person either. Yeah. With that stat. It's really not fair. Football is 100%
no, of course not.
team sport.
Don't forget, he's never had a running back.
Exactly.
He's never had a running back. The only 1,000-yard rusher they had was Reggie. Help me out, Reggie.
Reggie Bush? It wasn't
Reggie Bush.
Was it Reggie Bush?
Yeah. Reggie Bush, the last 1,000-yard rusher for the Lions.
I would have guessed Kevin Smith or something.
Yeah, no, it was Reggie. He had a great year that year.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you feel about the re-signing of Coach Caldwell? Do you feel that he is that coach that they need in Detroit?
Well, if you asked me 3 weeks ago when they were playing Atlanta and they were going to win that game, I was like, let's sign him to a 10-year contract. I was so excited that day. And then they pulled the win away from us. And the one thing I don't like about Caldwell is what everyone else is going to say and what they say in New York about Todd Bowles. They're not guys that get in a referee's face. They're not the rah-rah kind of guy, a guy that's going to show up a referee, a guy that's going to yell at a team. They're not that way. They're gentlemen. They're calm, like Tony Dungy. That's the kind of coaches they are. Todd Bowles in New York, obviously, the New York papers are all over him because they want him to be a yeller. Same thing with us. We want Jim Caldwell to defend us. When the Cowboys, when we got rooked in that Cowboys game, when I don't have to tell you about that playoff game that they pulled the flag back and Des Bryant's on the field. And
that was crazy.
Things like that really probably wouldn't happen to a Bill Belichick team because the referees, I think they respect those guys. And I don't mean that, I'm not talking down about Caldwell here because I believe he's a gentleman and I think the team follows in his footsteps. They're a calm type of team. They don't really, go crazy. I like that. I do like a little bit of some vim and vigor out of a guy. I like a guy that's going to yell a little bit. I was a Bill Parcells. I still am. I'm a junkie for Bill Parcells. I loved Vince Lombardi. I mean, you guys, it was way back then, but it's still that's my kind of coach. I don't like guys that are just okay. Let's take the next play, whatever. I kind of like a yeller here and there, to tell you the truth. But Caldwell, the re-signing of him, I think it's fine because the players respect him. Do I want him to be a little bit more outspoken? Yeah, but it's not going to happen because he is what he is. We don't change. We are who we are.
Yeah. So you say that everybody's clamoring for a more outgoing coach and everything. You had Jim Schwartz, and obviously that didn't work out the greatest, right? So no,
it did not. But he didn't have the other intangibles. I think Jim Schwartz could be a good head coach.
Yeah, you just need the medium.
Yeah, I believe it. Don't forget, that was his first job as a head coach. Jim Caldwell's been around the block a few times. He had his team in the Super Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens. He was offensive coordinator there. He's been around, and he's been a head coach. Head coach at Wake Forest, and so on and so forth. Jim Schwartz, that was his first go round. I think you'll see him as a head coach again one day.
Okay, so thanks for all those Lions comments. We're gonna we try to not talk too much about the Lions on this show, but like I said, we have a lot of people that listen.
Reach his own, man.
But I want to ask you, what team has stood out or impressed you the most this season thus far?
Well, I think the Eagles, obviously, and I know your boy there is going to get excited. I think Carson Wentz is going to be one of the great ones, and he doesn't have really a ton of receivers and running backs either. He's got just the right amount of guys that like Garrett Blunt is not going to be a great guy, but he knows how to get in the end zone. And I don't know if he's even been in there this year, but he will eventually get in there. And the receivers are okay. The tight end Ertz is good. Their defense is really good, and they have a new first-year head coach themselves. So we'll see if they can last. I really think the Chiefs. I believe the Chiefs can really do some damage. I really believe that. I think they have everything. I mean, Alex Smith is there, but he's got a kid waiting in the wings, their number 1 draft pick, ready to take over, and he is playing out of his mind right now. And Kareem Hunt is coming out of nowhere as a rookie running back, and their receivers could be a little bit better, but they've got some injuries going on right now. But I believe, even though they've lost a couple here, I think the Chiefs are the best in the NFL. That's my pick. I like the Cowboys. I still think the Cowboys have an opportunity to turn it on, especially with Ezekiel Elliott now. Once they leave him alone and stop telling him he's suspended every other week, once they get that out of the way, I mean, you get a running back like that, you could ride him all the way to the championship. And Dak Prescott is so much better when Zeke is running well, and now he is really running well. I like the Steelers a little bit because I like Le'Veon Bell. So Steelers-Lions this week I think is going to be a really good game.
Just to touch on your Ezekiel Elliott comment there, and I think this whole media storm that's going around him, I think that's giving him a lot of fire, like, to run the football. I know the running back position is such a physical position on the field, and like for every week for them to come at him with something new, just gives them fuel and makes them play a little bit better, right? In my
Absolutely,
opinion. So,
but last year when there was really nobody against him, he was just this great rookie running back. I mean, I think he is just a great running back, and you know what? If he stays healthy and stays out of trouble and just shuts his mouth, I think he could be tremendous, and I think the Cowboys could ride him. I really believe that.
So again, we got Tom Mazawey here on the line from Drew and Mike podcast. How do you feel about the 105.1 becoming a throwback hip hop and R&B station?
Well, I could throw up right now. I don't like it one bit. I was disappointed what happened at 105.1. I believe if we had the right leadership and the station wasn't going to be sold, I think we'd still be on the air and thriving. They put all their eggs into one basket when they were going after the Red Wings and the Tigers. And when that fell out of bed, they didn't have a backup plan. And it just, you know what, guys? They were going to sell the station, WCSX, the Riff, and 105.1. They were a package deal. Greater Media wanted out. The kids wanted out. The father had passed away. That was the owner for years. The kids didn't want it anymore. They're selling it, so the Beasley Corporation bought it, and the sports station wasn't doing great. Our ratings weren't great. I thought Drew brought tremendous sex appeal to the station, and he held his own. We were 3rd and 4th between 3 and 6. And that's going against Mike Valeni and a couple other juggernauts like WJR and WWJ. People turn that on during the afternoon for their traffic and news and stuff like that. And we were right there with them, man, with the afternoon drive. And they didn't give us any other opportunity to put any other shows on the air. We only had 2 other shows. We had Ryan Enrico, we had Matt Terry, and we had Drew. We didn't have any weekend programming. We didn't. Yeah. We had the station. You could shut it off after 6 o'clock at night. You can't run a station that way. It was run pathetically. And now they have music, and it's so cheap to run a music station. And I think their numbers are pretty good. So they'll do fine.
Josh?
All right, so I'm
not going to listen to them though.
Yeah. Spotify's the way to go anyway.
Yeah. I like my Sirius satellite, to tell you the truth.
Oh, yeah. Going back to the Lions for a second here, we have...
But we weren't talking about the Lions.
They hate on the Lions every week. I try to bring them up a little bit.
All right.
Our one buddy, Mike, he brought up a question earlier for us, and we answered it. I'm curious to hear your side of it. He mentioned there's talks right now of possible Ebron to Denver.
That's what I like to hear.
Our Ryan
what
here.
What are we gonna get? A bag of balls for him?
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. What's going on with him? I know coming out of college he his knock was he couldn't catch, but he can't pick it up.
It's not his fault that we drafted him where we drafted him. I mean, he's probably a good football player. He's probably going to be in the league for a while. Is he going to be a superstar? No, he's not. He's already proven he's not going to be a superstar. And obviously, Aaron Donald going to the Rams is a real, it's like stabbing me in the gut, like gutting me. I mean, you knew Ndamukong Suh was going to go and leave, and you don't draft Aaron Donald, who was right there for you. It could be one of the stupidest draft picks in the history of the NFL when it comes to a need of a team, and he was right there for you, and you draft Ebron. If someone else drafted him, like the Browns or something like that, you wouldn't even give a damn because no one would be talking about him. But here in Detroit, he was the number 1 pick, and he's not going to live up to his reputation. He's just not He's just a guy, is what he is. He's a big guy. Maybe he'll get better, but let's face it, he's just not going to be a number 1 draft pick excitement. He's just not that guy, and it's not all his fault.
Coming from a Broncos fan here, you can keep him.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, there's plenty of journeyman tight ends you could pick up that are just as good as him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. He has the speed. He has the athleticism. Everything. It's just something about catching in small spaces and everything that he just can't put together.
Well, as a tight end, that's what you do, right?
And he doesn't block. He
Yeah,
doesn't
he
block
can't
either.
Yeah, he's pure pass. That's it.
He's a big wide receiver that can't catch over the middle, and it's a problem.
You know what? Maybe he'll get better, but who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Let me rapid fire some questions at you here, Tom, while we're
All right.
kind of getting off of the Lions and there's some football in here, but so you're in Detroit there. Red Wings playoffs or not?
All right. Well, 8 make it out of the East, 8 make it out of the West. They have a shot to get 8th. That's it. Maybe they get into playoffs. Maybe they squeeze into the playoffs, but that's it. I mean, you could tell there's shortcomings.
Yeah, are they going to finish over 500? Do you think?
I believe that they'll be at 500.
Well, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
How many times have you watched this year's Super Bowl or last year's Super Bowl?
I didn't. The minute it was over, I shut it off. I pretended it didn't happen, and I never watched it again.
Oh yeah, you love the Patriots, don't you?
Oh yeah, I do. Oh God, last 2 Super Bowls, honestly, for losses, for a football game loss for me, to see them lose, to see them beat Seattle like they did, and to see Atlanta fold up like they did, that killed me. Take those 2 Super Bowls away, and you can't now, obviously. Mm-hmm. You take those 2 Super Bowls away, and they're a 3-time Super Bowl champ, and now they're a 5-time Super Bowl champ. It makes me sick to my stomach.
That's a good point. I never thought about it that way.
It's true.
That's so funny. For our listeners,
and by the way, Adam Vinatieri won them two out of those 3 Super Bowls.
Right.
Spygate won one against the Eagles too.
Exactly. There you go.
You got
How about
controversies.
against the Raiders? The tuck rule. There's another one.
Yeah.
You can keep going.
I like
Makes
you, Tom.
me sick.
For our listeners that don't know, Tom Mazawey from the show is you've watched. How many times have you watched the Super? What's the most watched Super Bowl you have?
Well, the most watched Super Bowl I've watched was when the Giants beat the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 21. I watched that one, and then of course when they beat the Patriots in the 2 Super Bowls that way. I loved that Manningham catch, of course the David Terrell catch over the David Tyree catch over the middle with Eli just getting out of there. Those are games that I'll have and watch forever. But you know what? I like watching the Silverdome Super Bowl 16, San Francisco and Cincinnati, only because it was at the Silverdome, and I'm a big Silverdome guy, and and it still breaks my heart the way it looks now and what's happening to it. And I know they're gonna finally knock it down. They're doing it piece by piece, but it is what it is. Yep. I'm a stadium kind of guy. I'm a sucker for crap like that.
Is this going to be the first year for Men of the Year award as far as the Walter Payton award goes? We kind of talked about it on the show that you have J.J. Watt and now, what was that guy's name? I can't remember. Chris Long kind of fighting for that award. But really, can you make one more important than the other?
Not really. But what those guys have done with charity and everything, especially, J.J. Watt, I paid a little bit more attention to because I don't know. It's just what happened, and at that time, how do you feel? You got to feel so bad for these people that suffer these losses. I mean, to lose everything like that is amazing. And these guys, the way they play on the field is one thing. J.J. Watt's a beast, and of course now he's out for the season. I feel terrible for him. Yeah. But what he does on his spare time is amazing. I love that. I love both those guys. It's great.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it all week since I asked the question last week that maybe we'll have the first time where 2 people win that award.
Why not? What the hell, man?
I mean, I'd give it to them both.
Yeah.
Well deserved. Yeah, well deserved.
Pistons over 500 this year?
No, I don't think so. Maybe a few games under, and there's another team that maybe will fight for the 8th spot. The East is pretty weak down low there, but let's face it. The people. The reason that the Little Caesars Arena is empty, it's because my opinion is there's not many NBA teams that you know is going to be in the thick of it, and they're expensive. It's expensive to go and to see the stadium the way it is, the way it's opened up. When I was there for opening night, and it was 3/4 empty, half empty at least, but at the tip it was hardly anyone in their seats. And I know there's so much to do at Little Caesars Arena. Have you guys been there?
No, not yet.
Honestly, you can walk around there and not even give a damn about the game. That's a little bit of a downside. Like if you're looking for crowds, they're in the restaurants, they're in the stores. It's like going to Somerset. It's like going to the mall. It's really beautiful, and the sight lines of the stadium is great. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll be a hit eventually, but it's going to take a while because they don't have anyone you can really like hang your hat on. Andre Drummond, I think his act has been played here. I don't think people really give a damn as far as if he's the guy that they introduced last. Remember Big Ben when they used to introduce him and the bell went off, and it was exciting when Mason would announce who the hell are these guys that he's announcing?
Yeah, they got to change their whole pitch of going to work.
Yeah, I don't know. They got to do something. Maybe sign a couple of better players. It's not an easy market to bring players here. Like if a guy like LeBron James would come here, then he could bring 2 or 3 people with him. But if he's not coming, there's not going to be a lot of guys that are going to come to Detroit. They don't know what they're missing though. It's a great sports town.
Absolutely.
Well, you said you've been to the Little Caesars Arena.
Yeah.
So, quick thoughts on the Little Caesars Pizza Arena?
It's beautiful. Like I told you, it's a place you don't even have to watch a game. You can just walk around, go to Kid Rock's restaurant. There's other restaurants there. Mikey's, Mike's Pizza, which is Mike Illich's. It's so many places to go and hang your hat and walk around. You can go, take the escalator up and down, and it's huge, guys. When you go inside, you're like, wow. I mean, I didn't even know what floor I was on half the time when I was going around. It's fun to go to. I'm
trying
really
to catch
nice.
a Leafs game in December or February, so
you got to get there.
Definitely
You got to get there. By the way, plenty of tickets available.
We'll have to link up with you and catch a Red Wings game there.
Let's do it, man. Tell me when you're going to be there.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to you. I got 2 more for you here. We got the Dodgers are up 1-0 in the series for the World Series.
Yeah.
You got Fellhauer's comeback player, CUM player of the year, going to make it and win that World Series now, or what?
Who you mean, Justin Verlander? Who's the comeback player of the year?
Yeah, Verlander.
Yeah, I think JV's got to. Well, I don't know what's going on now. I think it's top of the first. I think Houston just batted, so I think JV will take the hill now and see what happens.
Thanks for the partial.
I'm sorry, I have to give you the partial. You know me, I'm the king of the partial. I don't think Houston. I think Houston squeezes a game out of this series. They're good at home. They're good at home. I say it goes 5 or 6, but I think the Dodgers are the team. They're the team to beat this year. I think they've got it.
Sounds good. And then let me finish off here. Our listeners got to know that you're probably one of the biggest Seinfeld watchers ever.
I'm up there. I got some friends that are up there right with me.
So I thought I'd just...
Please don't ask me any questions that I'm not going to know, like what size underwear.
No.
Okay.
I think I pulled up a hard Seinfeld questionnaire, and this is one that I pulled off of there.
Damn it.
What did Poppy and Kramer argue about putting on Kramer's pizza?
Oh, that I got. Cucumbers.
Son of a bitch.
Cucumbers on pizza.
All worried, and he answers it right away.
I have some more if you really want.
Let's go.
All right. Let me nail you with these here real quick.
I'll do best of 7 with you. I'm up 1-0. Go ahead.
What does Frank Costanza collect?
Oh, collects TV guides. The guide. I'm up 2-0 now. Let's go.
You're about to get swept.
I am. What dish did Elaine sneeze into?
What dish did she sneeze into? Yes, I could picture it. Oh, my God. What dish did she... Oh, shucks. I don't want to keep these on hold, so go ahead, give it to me.
Pasta Primavera.
Pasta Primavera, Poppy, at the restaurant, of course. Go ahead. You got me on that one. I knew that, too.
2-1. What city did George fly to for his girlfriend's aunt's wedding?
His girlfriend's aunt's... Funeral, you mean?
No, aunt's wedding.
You're going to get me again.
You're going to hate yourself. It's Detroit.
Is it really?
Yep.
Damn it,
wow.
2-2.
2-2.
Oh wow.
What
Got a
was
barn
the
burner.
name of Elaine's boyfriend who was a close talker?
That's Judge Reinhold, and it was Aaron.
Yep. 3-2.
Oh, here we go.
3-2.
Wow.
What was the name of the moving man that delivered Jerry's couch?
Oh, the one she fell in love with, but then he was against abortion, so that he was pro-abortion, right? Against abortion. Oh, I don't know his name.
We're about to force a game 7 here.
Who was it?
Carl.
Carl. All right, go ahead.
All right,
Game
let me
7.
give you a tough one here. Is going to be, what was the name of the homeless man who stole the rickshaw?
Rusty.
Damn it.
Oh, like that.
got him.
I won a heartbreaker, 4-3, baby.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it from you, Tom. We enjoyed having you on the show.
Yeah,
and
thanks a
Thanks,
lot.
guys.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
we'll definitely want to have you back on sometime, and
Hey, give me a holler anytime, boys.
no problem. And just so you know that we do have that t-shirt contest going on I was telling you about, so be sure to enter. You can win yourself another Lions shirt that I'm sure you have a million of.
I do, but I could always use another one.
Sounds good. All right, thanks,
All right,
Tom.
fellas.
Appreciate
Thanks,
a lot, Tom.
guys. Thanks for having me on.
No
Yep.
problem. Take care.
Stay in touch.
Take care.
That was cool.
You got an outro song? I want an outro song.
This is his outro song from the Drew and Mike podcast. I had to cut it from them, so sorry for stealing it, guys, but I had to. It's a great song.
Nice. He's a master of many different things. Eh? He knows a lot about a lot.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, so maybe we'll catch a game with him sometime.
Yeah.
Link up. Let's head into the picks, I guess. Oh, actually, you want to review the picks or from last week? Yeah, okay, so let's
Give it a quick review.
Okay.
Nothing spectacular.
Yeah, so Ryan, you're still in the lead
Of
here.
course I am.
It
Are
was
you surprised?
it was a tough week.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It wasn't that tough.
It wasn't. So many games that you just
Pretty easy to pick, in my opinion.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, just
No,
gotta
it
follow
wasn't.
Josh.
But so we got we got Ryan sitting at 56 and 35. Josh, you're sitting at 54 and 37,
Went
and
down
I'm
a game.
one game above
Oh,
500,
above
boys.
500. There
Yep,
you go.
I missed both my lock and upset.
Trash.
Okay, well, if you didn't just copy Josh's picks, then
I did it. I didn't. Okay, it was an easy week. Chill. Just wait
So-
till you see my picks this week.
so what happened to the two-liner?
I've
then?
probably already seen them.
What happened to the two-liner? We went 0-2 on that.
Yeah, because it was trash.
Here, actually, I found a song for
I
you
don't remember who I picked. I probably picked Green Bay, didn't I?
for the two-liner.
Yeah, I
yeah,
picked
you
Green
had
Bay, yeah.
Green Bay there.
I expected a lot more out of Hunley than.
This is all I
I
was
saw.
thinking when
Well,
you
it's
guys.
a lot to it's a lot to put on his plate, like
Mhm.
as a young quarterback going up against a high flying offense, right?
Yeah.
Didn't keep up.
This is all I could think of when I saw that we were just 0-2 on that.
I hate you guys. You guys are assholes.
Not
But-
our money.
But you know that money's. I'm trying to get some chairs down here. You got to stop using these dining room
I
chairs.
like these dining room chairs. I don't like carrying them down here, but I like sitting on
But
them.
anyway, so for this week, let's nail some good picks here, I guess, for the two-liner, and maybe we'll get some chairs and blah, blah, blah.
two-liner.
All right, let's
Something
do
like-
it. Well, play it. Ryan's analyzing segment. Oh shit! I keep forgetting.
Pick segment.
This is tough. Oh my god! This is a tough game. It's a tough pick, right? It's anyone's game. It's the toughest pick of the week. This is a tough one. Analytics. Can we finish analyzing? I like the Lions this week. Is that gonna be our pick song forever?
Yeah.
Because I'll quit the fucking podcast.
No, you won't. You said that last week, and you're still here.
He's back.
So let's look at this Thursday game. We got a big one. Miami at Baltimore, and Jay Cutler's out.
I'll go first just because Josh wants to fucking
Copy you this week.
copy me all every week. I know Baltimore.
Okay. Oh,
Do you want my reason?
sure.
That's
Sure.
part of the segment.
Sure. No Jay Cutler.
You don't like Matt Moore?
No. Baltimore's defense is good.
Mm-hmm. It does scare me. Wallace is out. this week again. Macklin should be coming back, so he can kind of fill in that spot for the Ravens. The Dolphins are going to try and stop, or they're going to try to run. They should be able to against the Ravens because you saw last week Latavius Murray had his first big week, and it was against the Ravens. But I'm agreeing with you. I just feel like the Ravens' pass defense has been good, and they should be able to do a bend but don't break defense on them. I just don't see backup quarterback on the road, short week for Miami. I don't see them being able to do it, so I got Baltimore as well.
Wow, I'm copying my picks already.
At least I had real reasonings.
Oh, yeah. My reasonings were yours, but shorter and more to the point. Just saying.
You didn't say anything, but anyway.
I said, no Jay Cutler. Baltimore's got a good defense. Is exactly what he just said,
sure.
but in like 4 words.
I actually said that they got run on last week by the Minnesota Vikings.
You didn't say that shit. Nobody cares.
Miami's a really interesting team this year that their quarterback sucks. They've been getting wins, so I don't know if the quarterback being absent is really going to be as much of a problem, but I think Baltimore at home is just going to be too much for them this week.
On a short week, yeah.
On a short week, yeah. So I got Baltimore for sure.
Wow,
Heading into
everyone copying my picks. It's crazy.
I think I want to say that our Thursday picks have been the same all season.
It's not true.
I pretty much go with the home team every time for Thursdays.
Yeah, I'll have to check my paper, but anyway. Sunday, 1 o'clock, or actually no, we're heading
9:30 in London.
9:30 in London. We got Minnesota versus Cleveland.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go first. Nobody copies my picks.
I
got Minnesota because the Browns are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, Myles Garrett's
I like 100% dudes. Jesus Christ.
Myles Garrett's in concussion protocol. Kaiser and Kessler, they're both terrible, but they have no weapons. I don't see how they score on the Vikings. So I got the Vikings as well, copying Ryan.
Wow, fucking copier. I swear.
Straight fire picks.
I said before that I don't think a team's going to go 0-16, but I was hoping Cleveland was just going to get that win last week. So I got Minnesota this week, and hopefully Cleveland will find another game to have a possibility at winning. So Oakland at Buffalo.
I'll start off again.
You're going first all week.
Fine, that's fine.
Okay?
I'm going to go with Buffalo. I like Buffalo's defense a lot. And I feel like Sean McCoy is going to hit the end zone a couple times this week. He hit Pater last week, first time all season. And I think he's like, shit, I need to step this shit up, and get in there more often. I need to utilize him a little bit more, passing game and running game. And Tyrod's been doing well with his feet, so I don't think Oakland's defense is good enough. They didn't look good enough last week to stop the versatility of Buffalo's offense. So, and I don't think Oakland's offense is really going to click well enough. They won't get a running game going against that front line of Buffalo. And in the secondary, if they can get guys running wide open, maybe they have a shot. But I like Buffalo in this one a lot.
Yeah, the Raiders they're on a slightly extended week because they played last Thursday, right? So they have a little bit more time, but it's a West Coast team going to the East Coast on a 1 o'clock game. It's a 10 o'clock in the morning game for them. Marshawn's suspended for the Raiders. Carr looked great in Amari Cooper. They finally got some timing together and everything, but I don't think it'll be enough. Nice. Jordan Matthews, he's back for the second week, getting over that broken thumb or the surgically repaired thumb. But I think Buffalo at home, with the fact that it's a West Coast team, I got Buffalo.
I got Buffalo as well. I got to find one spot where I can switch you guys. I think we're going to
right there. You could have.
I know. I was thinking about it, but then that whole that
was a close game to me.
West going east is a really tough one for me, so I have to go Buffalo on that one. Indianapolis heading into Cincinnati.
Into Cincinnati?
10.5-point favorite Cincinnati.
I think that's crazy.
I think that spread's way too big.
How is Cincinnati?
I think it's going to be a lot closer game than 10.5 points, but I still think Cincinnati comes out with the win.
Yeah. My exact reasoning for picking Cincinnati is that Vegas decided to do that. They must know something we don't know out of this. That there's no. I don't think.
Is there an injury or something?
I think you're going to see a Joe Mixon breakout game.
Possible.
He's been in the
this
media
is the team
all week.
To do it again.
He's been in the media all week saying he needs to get the ball more. They need to feature him more. Blah blah blah.
I forgot.
Marvin Lewis, kind of shit on him a little bit, saying he needs to mature up a little bit. Kind of just throwing it under the carpet, trying to maybe hide his hand a little bit. I think he gets 20, 25 touches, and he goes off. And I think Cincinnati just...
Well, it has been in the news that he's got to get more touches. I mean, they brought him in there as...
They drafted him.
They drafted him in there, and you got to use him. He can't block. I was watching the game where he just completely just whiffed on a block.
He's young. He'll learn
Still
it.
young.
Yeah.
You can learn how to block.
You don't learn it in college. They don't do a lot of pass protection.
Yeah. Josh, you had Cincy?
Yeah, and also I forgot about it. Malik Hooker's out for the season now for the Colts. He's their rookie free safety, and he was doing really well. And yeah, he's out.
Yeah. Or you copy my picks.
That's why.
Sure. So we were talking about it a little bit earlier quickly, but the LA Chargers at New England.
The New England Patriots.
Okay.
The Chargers, you can't fuck with the Chargers though. But since it's in Foxborough, it's hard to win in Foxborough. Really, really hard. I like the Patriots. The defense for the Patriots is kind of shoddy, right? And I like the Chargers' offense. They can fly around. They got Mike Williams that still needs to emerge. They got that running game, and Phillip Rivers is a veteran quarterback that knows where to throw the ball, right? So
yeah,
it'll be a high scoring affair. 7-point spread's kind of high, but again, you got the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
Tom Brady. Can't see them losing that game.
Yeah, there's the only chance I think the Chargers have is Melvin Ingram, and
Joey Bosa
getting at Brady, but because Brady's offensive line isn't playing the greatest this year. But I think knowing that that's their biggest strength of their defense, they're going to go in with some kind of type of scheme. They're going to chip them every single time. They're going to do something that's going to take them off their game. I don't really see it being more than a 7-point blow. Like, that's a big line to me, but I'm going New England.
Yeah, I had to take New England as well. You can't. It's so hard to pick against them when they're at home. Now, if the Chargers had Young Hoku, maybe I'll reach out to Young Hoku about
be his agent.
Be his agent.
He just tried
Nobody
out for
gives a
some
fuck
team
about Young
there.
Hoku.
What are you talking about?
Young Hoku is who I'm talking about.
Anyway,
Nobody gives a fuck.
we do.
You do.
Do you want to be his agent?
No, he doesn't have a job.
Yeah, what's next?
Chicago heading into New Orleans. That's an easy one. I think we're going to be picking the same again.
Should be easy. New Orleans. Again, Chicago's offense has been absolutely terrible, right?
They threw 7 passes last week.
They threw 7 passes.
7 passes, and they won the
yards
game
for passing. Yeah.
It's like
Again, but
you can't do that against the
if
Saints.
Chicago's defense can go ahead and score twice again, they can win the fucking football game.
No, not against the Saints.
But
though.
you got Drew Brees, a veteran quarterback. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's only thrown 3 picks this season, right? So unless they get some sort of fluke fumbles or some sort of return touchdowns or something, the Saints are going to win this football game at home too.
Yeah,
so.
home against a team that's offense hasn't been able to do anything really. Saints defense has looked a little bit better as well. Drew Brees is going to put up 30-something points on them. I don't see Chicago having even close to a chance. Even if they get a couple of defensive touchdowns, I don't see how they're going to score that much.
Yeah, I think that Chicago with their 85 pass yards last week, I think one of those completions was for 70 yards or so to Tariq Cohen there. And he didn't even have a rush yard all game. So I don't know what that, but there's no way you're going to beat New Orleans at home.
They just have limited weapons that
Yeah.
they become really predictable.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we got Atlanta at the New York Jets.
Falcons
Ryan.
coming off that devastating loss to the Patriots, right? You know, nightmares probably having all week. I don't think the Jets offense can keep up with the Atlanta Falcons offense. So that Jets defense is playing really well though. So in New York, it'll be a pretty close game, but I got Atlanta coming back, winning that football game.
Yeah, it's the road factor that scares me with Atlanta for it. They have a lot more talent than the Jets do in general. And if you think about some of their losses, they were up 17-0 on the Dolphins, and then they choked that game away. They were up on the Bills at halftime, or it was really close at halftime, and then they lose Julio Jones. They don't have him the rest of the game. They lose that game. This Patriots game, there's a few plays that kind of got them. They got stuffed at the 1-yard line. Didn't get a touchdown there. So there's a few plays going in their direction that could have changed the season a little bit. But I got Atlanta.
Yeah, on the flip side of that, like if you look at the Jets, a couple times this year the Jets would go up big and they would also blow a lead, right? So I don't think the Jets' offense is high powered enough, right, to come back if the say Atlanta does go up 21 points or something like that, right? And they don't have the power, they don't have the weapons to claw back, right? So once you put the ball in Josh McCown's hands, right, I think the game's over at that point. I don't have faith in that guy to bring back, so passing on every down and getting you down the field. So if Atlanta goes up 2 scores early in the game, I think the game's a wrap.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this last week as well, that the Jets' only wins were 2 at home against Miami and Jacksonville, and then they won on the road against the Browns. So Miami, Jacksonville, Browns, it's not the greatest.
Yep. Here's going to be a little bit of a bold prediction for me. I have Atlanta winning the game, but if they lose this game, this might fall under that they're not going to make the playoffs. Like you keep
They're not
bringing
going to
up.
make the
Runner-up
playoffs.
curse.
According to my 32.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
So,
Dupadamus over here.
Dupadamus.
Well, since it's Josh's team, he's got to go first.
No, it's you all week.
No, you got to go first. Every time we go, it's your team, so...
It's a 1 o'clock
I'm going to
game.
go with the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm going with the Eagles. Hey, you heard him. He said 49ers. Write it down. He said
I'm going with the Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles.
How are you going to pick against the Eagles this week?
You can't.
Well, there's the one thing that scares me with it is that it is an 0-7 team versus a 6-1 team. Maybe the Eagles looking ahead to the Broncos the next week. They just came off a Monday night. It's a shorter week for them.
They could sleep.
They
on
just
them.
lost Jason Peters. They have Halapoulivaati, Vaitai in backing them up.
But who are the Niners starting at quarterback? CJ Beathard again?
Yeah, he got beat hard.
God,
Did you see that? Did you see those memes?
That was fucking terrible.
Beathard beat hard.
Yeah.
Philly's defense just flies around way too much, and their offense has been moving the ball way too well. So it's an easy pick.
Yeah, as if they even needed this on top of it. I have a couple stats things. It's a 1 p.m. game for San Francisco, so 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. It's their second trip to the East Coast in 3 weeks, and their 4th road game in the last 5 weeks for the 49ers. That's
even worse. Poop.
It's my lock of the week.
Oh, lock of the week.
Like it counts for anything anyway. Carolina. Oh, I got
It's
Philly
only the
as
biggest
well.
spread, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
What's the spread? I didn't even look at it.
I don't think it's not the biggest one. Is
13.
it?
Yeah, 13. Yeah, it's the biggest.
I thought there was.
Nope. 10.5.
What's the Monday?
Don't even. It's not even.
7.
No.
7. Oh, okay.
Whoa. Anyway.
Oh.
Carolina heading into Tampa Bay, which I think is going to be a closer game than maybe some people think, but.
Tampa Bay.
Okay.
It's just a coin flip for me. I don't fucking like.
Yeah, the Panthers just haven't. I don't get what's going on with them. Ever since the Eagles took out Kuechly, it's like they just completely changed. Obviously,
well, you're taking
he's
your
the best
defensive leader,
player
right?
on the
He calls
team,
their plays and everything.
But now their offense can't do anything. It just seems like they completely almost gave up. Yeah, I have Tampa Bay as well. Winston's AC joint in his right shoulder is a little scary with it, but they're at home. It's a divisional matchup. They should go hard. Know what I mean?
All right, I'm changing this midway. I had Tampa Bay too, but this is getting ridiculous. We have too many of the same picks, and I got to catch
quit
up.
copying my fucking picks then.
I'm not.
I have them written down.
I have them written down.
I bet.
You're the only one that doesn't have them
Send
written
those
down.
over the fucking
Ryan, no
airwaves.
show prep.
Send those over the airwaves. I prepped, man. I did my Yahoo picks.
Sure. I got Carolina.
Song.
I got Carolina this week, just to go off you guys. You know,
Congratulations, you're back at 500.
Houston heading into Seattle.
Seattle against a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, man, I think that's gonna be a really tight game though. Like, Deshaun Watson's been fucking fun to watch.
Texans are off a bye week too.
Yeah, and they're off a bye week. They're fun to watch, but Seattle's defense, veteran offense with Russell Wilson in Seattle, 12th man, roaring.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. And you never know what the weather's gonna throw out there either, right? Like up in Seattle at this time of the year, late October, probably rain. How is Deshaun Watson gonna do in the rain with that crowd roaring? Probably not so well, but I like Seattle.
A positive for the Houston Texans is their left tackle, Dwayne Brown. He ended his holdout, so he's going to be back for them. So that should help a little bit. But I just don't think, I know there's a lot of fans that go out to college games and everything, but the talent on the field isn't the same. So when you're mixing that sound that Seattle's pumping in, their fans are going crazy, and then you have the talented defense in front of them, I think it's going to be really hard for Watson to be able to do anything on offense.
Yeah.
If he balls out in this game, you know he's legit, and you know that they got a really, really, really good quarterback.
Yeah.
But I have Seattle as well.
Yeah. So I had to go opposite with you guys. I already had Houston picked before. I didn't switch this time, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I bet.
I really wanted to make this my upset, but I just couldn't.
It's a 5.5 point spread. Now Seattle's at home. Now thinking that, you know, if the experts didn't think that Houston was any good, they would have probably made that 6.5, 7 points. There must be something there. I wouldn't be surprised if that drops down to 5 or 4.5, something like that.
Seattle's offense isn't putting a lot of points on the board.
Yeah, and Houston is.
Sherman hasn't looked the greatest.
They
either.
laid up team, so I don't know. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a closer game than a lot of people think. But I got Houston, and I'm trying to play catch up. So
Yeah, well,
Dallas
they're just gonna fall below 500 now. So
sure. Dallas at Washington.
Dallas Cowboys. The way Washington's defense played against Philadelphia, they're not going to be able to stop Dak Prescott, Dez Bryant, and Ezekiel Elliott. So the only thing, it'll be a high-scoring affair. You're going to see Kirk Cousins probably put up a hell of numbers against that secondary of Dallas, but you're going to see Dallas just matching them punch for punch, and it'll be a really fun game to watch, I think. But I think Dallas squeaks out a win.
Yeah. Washington on a slate short week coming off the Monday. It's crazy to me. Cousins has just no chemistry with his receivers. He has. They ended up starting Dotson last week over Pryor.
Pryor can't get open. There's no separation.
Yeah, there's something going on there. The only person they can get it to is Jordan Reed, and he's hobbled every single game.
Yeah, injury prone.
They lost they're both going to be playing, but their right guard Sheriff, he went out, and then their offensive tackle Morgan Moses, he sprained one of his ankles, or he rolled one of his ankles, got out, got it all taped up, came back in, then rolled the other one. So now he's playing on 2 rolled ankles against what's the defensive end for the Cowboys is killing it, Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Who the fuck is that guy?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's going against Marcus Lawrence, who's been killing it this week on 2 hurt ankles. It's just a little bit more. Norman is coming back maybe this week, but even if he shuts down Dez, I don't see how they're going to stop the run game and the rest of the Cowboys' weapons. I got the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Dallas across the board. Did you start Elliott last week in your fantasy?
I started Elliott and Wentz. They got me a combined 80 points. The only reason I won was the 2 of them. The rest of my team shit the bed. I thought I was going to lose last week.
It's hard to lose when 2 players get you 8 points.
Yeah, exactly. I got lucky.
We're heading into it's actually going to be a pretty big game for Detroit. As we talked to Mazawey earlier, he thinks Detroit's going to pull it out, but who do you got, Pittsburgh or Detroit?
Pittsburgh. Too many weapons. Too many weapons on that offense. Ben Roethlisberger's won a Super Bowl in this stadium, so he's gonna channel that previous Super Bowl victory, and then come out on top on those damn Lions.
Lions, they're off a much needed bye. Like we said last week, they had a lot of injured guys. Stafford hurt ribs. TJ Lang, he couldn't play 2 weeks ago. So him coming back, that's going to help him. Glover Quinn off a concussion. Trevor Swanson was banged up. All that's going to help him. The only thing that does suck is Golden Tate is out for them.
He's listed as doubtful.
Yeah, but I think it actually came out that he was out now.
Yeah, he's probably out.
The one thing that the Steelers suck against is not suck, but they're not the greatest at picking up the running backs in the passing game. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago. That's pretty much all the Lions have is passing down running backs. On the Steelers side, there's just more drama going on with them. They have Martavis Bryant saying that he wants the ball now. First Brown, then running back, and now Martavis Bryant. It's pretty crazy.
It's a circus, but I don't understand. They're getting their wins. They're 5-2, right?
They're winning.
They're going into a bye week as well, Pittsburgh this week. But I just think off the bye, the Lions, they're going to have a game plan. They're going to go in. The Pittsburgh Steelers on the road with a team full of headaches right now. I got Detroit with my upset of the week.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Detroit Lions, same old Lions.
I'm surprised by that.
How long did it take?
I took. Wow, that actually.
It took a while. Same old line.
It took a long time on that one.
Well, you can only predict it because
Hour
when they
and
fall.
21 minutes.
Oh my
It
god.
was an 8:30 game too.
Yeah. I took Pittsburgh in this game.
Not a boy.
I'm just going by that stat that Stafford doesn't beat good teams. So he's going to have to come back in the fourth quarter, but he's going to come up short. You got Bell. He's going to run all over that team, I predict. So, I don't know. Pittsburgh.
You obviously don't, but yeah.
You never know with those. It's going to be a close-ass game. We got
This is the trash game of the week.
Trash game of the week.
Toilet Bowl?
Toilet bowl of the week.
Toilet Bowl? I don't know.
Waiting for you to play your fucking audio clip.
Can't find it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Sucks anyway.
Broncos. Broncos. Let's go. Broncos. Broncos. Let's go.
Yeah, it's my team, so I'll go first. Just like you can obviously get to copy my pick now, but
Right.
Yeah, Denver last
Denver,
week got
okay.
goose egged by San Diego Chargers. Chargers should have beat that team. Again,
You know they're mad now.
it's not on the defense. It's on the offense. Offense can't move the ball. They can't sustain drives. If you looked at the results of all the drives they had against San Diego, I believe it was like fumble, punt, fumble, or a couple fumbles, a couple punts more, and then it's just absolutely brutal. That offensive line going up against pretty good pass rushers in Kansas City, and then against that high scoring, hard to read, hard to play against Kansas City offense, where you're gonna have a tired defense out there because your offense, can't sustain any drives to get your defense rest. It means I got to go with the Denver Broncos with my upset of the week.
There we go. Tell me this. I got a question. Broncos completely stopped Ezekiel Elliott the game they played him.
Yeah.
No rush. And then Darkwa went off on him. But the other weeks, no one else. Like all the other weeks of the year, no one's really run on him.
Well, the only
How do
reason
you think Hunt's going to do?
Again, it all depends on the offense. The offense sustains drives, right? Gives the defense a break. You can easily bottle up Hunt, right? It's just when you don't get breaks and your offense just goes 3 and out, people think at home they're like, oh, there was a TV timeout. They should have. No, hell no. Like that's they need their breaks. They need to sit there. They need to breathe there. They need to have a rest. When your offense goes out there and punts after 3 downs, or they throw a pick, or they fumble, you're back on the damn football field. You got to run around again, and you're flying around. You're playing at an intense level. It's not enough subs in the world to be effective. So it's
Bradley Roby is your fastest corner, right? Probably he's faster than Chris Harris.
yeah. I would say Bradley Roby's the fastest.
You think he's the one that's going to guard Tyreek Hill, or do you think it'll just be they'll still stick in their positions?
It'll depend where Hill lines up. I think if Hill lines up outside, you'll have Roby out there, right? Inside, you'll probably put him up with Chris Harris. Chris Harris is a better man-to-man corner than Bradley Roby is.
And who's going to take Kelsey then?
Kelsey's got to rely on Darian Stewart and Justin Simmons, or Brandon Marshall at linebacker. I don't want to see the matchup with Brandon Marshall because I think Kelsey will win. Kelsey will win that matchup, but you put Darian Stewart out there, or like the versatile Justin Simmons out there. Right, they can, as long as they put bodies on them, right, make them uncomfortable, they'll be fine. But again, tight ends have been a problem, and if you look at their past couple games, like Hunter Henry went off last week, that's because there was linebackers out there, right? You always had to account for Antonio Gates in that situation, right? And they would have safeties on Antonio Gates, but they would put a linebacker like Todd Davis or Brandon Marshall on Hunter Henry, and he would just run free and get first down. So, but the thing to stop Kansas City, you stop the running game, you force Alex Smith. You don't let Alex Smith break the pocket, right? You get pressure on Alex Smith, you sack him, right? And then you force turnovers. You got to get some turnovers, right?
That's what I see happening too. I'm predicting that this week is the first week that Alex Smith throws a interception. He hasn't thrown one yet this season. 15-0 for touchdown to interception ratio.
Denver, Kansas City is always a good game.
Yeah, Kansas City's a hard place to play. In Kansas City, it's a loud place as well. They probably have just as much of a field advantage as the Broncos and the Seahawks and things like that. The Broncos offense, that's the only thing holding me back from it is the Broncos offense they just don't look on the same page. I got to go Kansas City.
Yeah. Broncos got to run the football. They run the football and they run it effectively. They use C.J. Anderson because they haven't been using him in those past couple of weeks. Use that guy. Bell cow him. Just give him those first and second down carries, and then put Jamal Charles in as a change of pace. Jamal Charles going back to his former team. He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. So we'll see. It'll be a good one.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right, Paul. Whose pick are you gonna copy this week?
Josh's.
Of course you are.
Good call.
Well,
Yes.
they look so.
Thought you were trying to get above 500 here.
That's how he's gonna do it.
Denver's not gonna win, man. They've looked like shit the last couple.
Fucking clip that audio.
What do you want? $5 on this?
Do you want to put 5 on it? You got to give me some odds though.
Oh, now he's asking for odds.
What do you mean? That's bullshit. Look at the fucking spread. It's 7
Don't
points.
matter. Straight up.
Oh,
Give me 3-1.
You don't believe in your
3-1.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah,
It's not worth 3-1. You're not gonna get 3-1 anywhere for that.
I'm right here. I will.
Let's head into the locks and upsets real quick here.
All right, I already did that shit.
Yeah, I gave you mine.
I don't remember.
What do
Josh,
mean?
you had lock as
Josh
Philly.
had the biggest spread and the smallest spread.
Okay. Doesn't help me.
I had Detroit as the upset and
Oh.
Philadelphia as the lock.
Okay, and Ryan, you had Denver as your upset.
Denver is the upset, and my lock is going to be
The Eagles?
Minnesota Vikings. Is that who? Scroll up. I want to make sure of that. Hold on, scroll up. I forget who they're playing already. Yeah, the Browns. Yeah, I like that.
I took New Orleans as my lock this week, and I got Nope. Oh, I didn't have an upset. Oh yeah, I did. Carolina.
The Bears are certified tick rippers, man.
No, that's. Are you
the
kidding
Bears,
me?
man. Fuck.
They're under what? 200 passing yards and
I don't give a shit. How many games have they won? Those 2 games.
Don't matter. Carolina's my upset. So we missed our 2-liner. Let's try to get some chairs for the studio.
So we're doing money lines.
Whatever
It
you
doesn't
want.
matter.
Just to get your lock for it.
So who do you got?
Can I go with Indianapolis to cover?
We're Indy. Yeah,
10
playing
and a half.
Cincinnati. Yeah.
That's the only thing I like.
Detroit money line. I go my upset every week.
Upset money line every week.
10-2.
I'll go Indy cover.
What is it? What
10
is it?
and a half.
10 and a half.
Probably change before Sunday, so you better make that shit quick.
Yep. So Indy 10 and a half and Detroit money line for our 2-liner this week.
You need to cover 10 and a half.
Fucking
not
two-liner.
win, but-
Fucking two-liner, man.
I said cover 10 and a
You
half.
said Indy 10 and a half. That assumes that they're going to win by 10 and a half, so you have to say
No,
it.
cover 10 and a half.
You didn't say that.
Fucking loser.
Fucking review it.
Let's start over.
Josh, I didn't ask you earlier. Let's get it out of the way now.
9 inches soft.
We had your bottom 11 last week.
Oh, doing this? Nobody cares about this.
Yeah, they do. We had a comment on Instagram. Somebody said, Chicago finishing at 30, it's not going to happen. So,
Yeah, well, now it's locked in there, right?
well, no, you can move.
No, it's fine. We'll keep everything that I've done.
Really? After, I don't know, Baltimore 23?
Yeah, it's why they're all garbage.
Are you doing 11 teams right now?
Every team's garbage. Let me give you the rest of them.
Who's
I'll
21?
give you the rest of them right now.
Who's 21?
Cardinals.
Okay.
Ah.
I had to. After Palmer went out, I
Yeah.
switched it. I had them further down.
You
I
like
actually
Drew
thought,
Stanton?
no.
We are the bird gang, watch us soar. Fight, 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 with the victory roar. Arizona bird gang, Cardinals cheer. Let the Red Sea rise up.
That's your 21st team right there. You kidding me?
Is that your fucking
Jeez.
team's theme song
You like
right
I
there?
get why they're not
No wonder it's
successful.
fucking drop them further.
Put them at 32.
Yeah, put them there. Never play that again, first of all. Stop with that shit.
You love that?
No.
Then
Not
next,
even a little.
next I have the Jags.
Ooh, no love, eh?
Wow.
Well, the teams, watch the teams under it.
They're going to be in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Then the Bucks. Then the Redskins.
Bucks.
Packers.
So we're at 17?
Wow, Green Bay.
17 Packers?
Yep. Falcons.
Falcons.
Wow.
They are not making the playoffs. Sorry, guys.
16 though?
Yep. And
Wow.
then after this is where it got really, really close. There was
Okay.
for the AFC, I struggled with the Raiders or the Titans for the last playoff spot, and the NFC, I struggled between the Saints, the Lions, and the Rams for the last playoff spot for them. But I did it in order of like actual playoff seeding, as if it was finished. 15th, I got the Oakland Raiders not making the playoffs.
Ooh.
14, I have the Detroit Lions also not making the playoffs.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
13, we're gonna go with the Saints,
Ooh.
also not making the playoffs, and that one was
Whoa.
really close. It was very, very tough for me to do it.
Oh.
2 more.
Number 12, This was tough. Like I said, this was tough between choosing this team, the Titans, and the Raiders. But number 12, we got the Broncos.
I knew that was coming. I knew he wasn't going to put the Broncos in the top 10. I knew he was going to.
Well, they're in the playoffs. They're going to be one of the wild cards.
I knew you were going to put in the top 10.
They're not going to win the division, so they got to be one of the wild cards.
I guess it happened.
I have them finishing.
They won't win a single fucking game.
Broncos are going to win 8. They're going to go 8-8, or they're going to go 9-7. That's one of the two.
They just got to fucking play some offense, and
then we got the Tennessee Titans right after them.
That's 11 right there.
Yeah. And I'll just give you the rest.
No, let's do 5 next week and 5 the week after.
Yeah, do that. Let them
That'll
sweat
be 32.
Okay.
We all know who's number 1 anyways.
Well, it's
the Eagles.
Last week it wasn't. This week it might have been.
The best quarterback in the Eagles' history.
He is.
He's won 3 games for us so far.
He is
amazing.
The greatest of all time already.
Just wait till he blows a leg out and fucking never walks again.
That's just something you don't want to say.
So for
come wood.
For those who missed
real
our good, bad, and ugly segment, maybe next week we can get caught up on that.
What
you guys think? Good, bad, and ugly?
We're not catching up. We'll do good, bad, and ugly of that week.
Well, I know, but I can't with you. Can't.
What?
Anyway.
Whatever, man.
What?
That's
just being correct.
An hour 30 or so.
Yeah. All right. I'm
about right. It's about
Josh,
right.
you want to lead us out then?
Yeah. Eagles are the greatest. Carson Wentz.
Do you hate on the Eagles that much? You really don't think the Eagles are a top team in the league right now?
The refs need to stop throwing flags at us.
They do.
Follow us.
All this haterade.
Sportscasting coach.
Here you go. You do it. You outro as me. There you go.
Follow us at www.philadelphiaeagles.com. I like 100% dudes. You just ruined it. Way to go. I was fucking having fun. Now you ruined it. Now, Josh, you can finish.
All right, so
on the Eagles' back.
All right.
Yeah, right.
You can listen to us on SoundCloud or on iTunes, searching Sportscasting Coach.
Yeah, right.
All right. You can email us sportscastingcoach@gmail.com. On Twitter @SC_coach, Facebook.com/sportscastingcoach, and @sportscastingcoach on Instagram.
And thanks to Tom Mazawey again from the Drew and Mike podcast for coming on this week. Tom. And we'll have you on again sometime. Maybe we'll catch a game. So it was good show, guys.
Yeah, I guess. This was all right.
Don't play.
More stolen beats.